Hi guys, it's Marty, and today I'm gonna show you how I try to recreate this shot from the second season of Silo. I really wanted to recreate a shot from Silo for a while, but the set design with a lot of concrete and metal felt too stylized to pull it off at home. But when I saw this particular scene, it just clicked and I got an idea. My desk with some organized mess could act as a similar symmetric background like in the reference image. Obviously, I don't have a huge space available like in Silo, so I couldn't use the same long lens, but opted for a shorter 75mm. This means I won't have the same compression and blur in the background, but I have to live with it. By the way, we are talking about spherical lenses because the second season was shot with vintage sphericals instead of anamorphs like the first season. And the aspect ratio was changed to 2:39:1 from 2:1. I used the A7S III with the Tamron 28-75 f2.8. Exposure-wise, I overexposed the image by 2 stops because in the final image everything will be below 40 IRE. To achieve a clean, detail-rich image in those lower regions, I like to borrow the cleaner highlight stops from the sensor and bring the image down in post. For monitoring, I used one of my LUTs that pulls back the image by 2 stops. For this reason, the images you will see are already color graded, but at the end of the video I will show you with and without color grading as well. So after I found my final framing, it was time to create the organized mess in the background. If you take a look at the lighting, we have 5 layers. A cyan key light in the foreground, a warm rim light, a dark, barely lit middle ground, a warm background, and again a cooler cyan deep background. These layers with this cyan and orange color contrast are creating a very nice depth in the image. Obviously, I won't be able to create the 5th layer because I have nothing there. So I had to cheat a little bit by catching the reflection of the key light, but you will see it later. For the key light, at first I wanted to use a big squared softbox. But then taking a closer look on the reference image, I realized the well-defined vertical specular highlights on the face and the shape of the light in the eyes. It led me to think that a deeper light source that can fill the shadows in the eyes would be more appropriate than a wider one. So the idea was to use a diffusion material and create a tube shape and light through that. But I don't have any longer LED tubes or LED mats like the F22C, so it was a bit more complicated to evenly lit the surface of the diffusion. I used the Aperture 300D with the reflector and the barn door. The barn door served 2 purposes in this case: controlling the spin light and attaching gels. I used the diffusion gel to increase the surface of the light vertically, so it will produce a more even light on the bigger diffusion. To make it cyan, I used the color gel, but to be honest, I have no idea what type of gel it is, maybe mercury vapor. I just got it from a gaffer I work with. I doubled the color gel to get the color I wanted. So for creating the tube-shaped diffusion, I used one of my best investments, the IKEA shower curtain. I just hung up loosely between a backdrop stand and the C-stand. It may seem a bit sketchy, but it was rock solid. The light was not centered with me, but slightly pushed to my left, so that it created a nice fall-off on my face. Without the boom arm, I couldn't place the light perfectly above the diffusion, therefore the intensity dropped at the further parts. To counteract it, I made a small curve at the end of the shower curtain, so the angle of incidence of the light was closer to the right angle, which means more intensity. I had way too much bounce light in the room, so I used the black material to skirt around the diffusion to prevent the light from falling onto the white walls and onto the background. I had to fold up the skirt above my head because it was blocking some of the light on my face. I placed some more negative fill here and there and utilized everything I found around me. For creating the background lights, I used two non-like CC tubes stacked to the legs of the desk. The 2700 Kelvin CCT was not warm enough, so I used the HSI mode and eyeballed it to match the light in the reference image. The rim light was created with the Godox VL150 and with another color gel. It was half CTS doubled over. I prefer to use CTS over CTO because it is less reddish and leans more towards yellow. This light not only created the rim light, but also filled the shadows with some warmth and brought back some nice skin tone. The final step was adding smoke to increase the separation from the background and raise the blacks to reduce the contrast in the image. And here is the final shot. Well, to be honest, I wasn't sure if it would look anything like the original. It was just a wild idea. But now, looking at the final result, I'm quite happy how it turned out. Reverse engineering a beautiful image, solving problems, and step by step getting closer to the final result is so much fun. And by doing this, I gain a lot of experience that can be applied later in my work. Therefore, I can only encourage you to do it as well. If you have any ideas about what I should recreate next, let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.